dude, why is it that the masculine moves on so fast after a breakup or separation? Now, I know as a highly feminine soul and woman, it was super hard for me to be that woman who was mourning and just pining after the men I dated for so long, and they would move on fast. And I was like, what's wrong with me? They're already like in a relationship, or some of them were even married by the time I was just like starting to get back on the dating horse. See, the thing is, masculine energy moves fast. Yang energy is fast, yin energy is slow. Our energy as feminines goes down. Our female bodies often ground by having menstrual periods that go down. We have babies that drops down towards gravity, versus the male energy, bing, bone goes up, right? The masculine energy goes up to the sky. So it's almost as if in many men, their DNA is designed to process things really quickly. And if you are a man, or if you are a divine masculine that just holds a lot of that masculine energy in your body, it's going to be very natural for you to move on quickly, to go, 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 and want to go fast. Now, if you are very awake and aware of your feminine energy, it's not going to be so easy to just move on from a deep, intense soul connection, unless somehow you have a ninja Jedi ability to move beyond that with psychic tools, which definitely I help people get through painful breakups and unions that have been entangled for sometimes even many lifetimes, to do it faster because I have psychic tools. We can do cord cuttings and karmic clearings, and also deep counseling on like, why am I attracting this person? And if it's not working, like, let's clear that out. Let's clear out the reason it's happening and letting it go. But in general, most of us as feminines, we like to hold on to stuff for a little too long. It's a habit of ours. We like to hold, we like to embrace, we like to nurture. So sometimes we can be nurturing partners who have a lot of masculine energy that aren't willing to do that work for themselves. It's much more comfortable and easy for them to just run on and move on. But I wanted to say that a lot of times when the masculine moves on fast, he's actually not really moving on fast, because he's just going to repeat the same energy with a new partner. And you might be like, oh my gosh, he moved on, he broke my heart. But really, he's carrying your karmic baggage and your relationship stuff into his next partnership. And a lot of times I see where he doesn't want to feel wounded, he doesn't want to feel abandoned, because that's not a masculine quality. The number one wound of the feminine is fear of abandonment. And for the masculine, it's fear of being engorged or smothered. So he says, I don't want to be smothered. And the flip side of that, in the opposite of it, is he's also saying, I don't want to feel like I'm abandoned, but I don't want to actually admit that to myself. Then he moves on saying, I don't want to feel that. I'm going to be with her. I'm going to rebound, move on, quick, quick, quick. And really what's happening is he's just kind of put a pin on the situation, but it's going to eventually show up and blow up. And I lived in a community with my husband. We lived in a very wealthy neighborhood in San Diego, where there were these mansions on the hillside. And we lived in the neighborhood where all the divorcees, all the men had townhomes that they were renting out temporarily while letting their kids go to the same school, letting their ex-partner, their ex-wife, or their wife, they were going through divorces, and they were kind of hiding from this painful divorce situation. Now, the sad thing is, if people are from the Western world, there is a 50% divorce rate. So those people like me who are in the Western world, they'll want to really do the deep inner healing work, because there's a huge risk at, when their kid turns 16 and they go through some kind of trigger or trauma or something like that, something could come up. Because the reality is that a lot of times people end up, the picket fence, the happy marriage starts to just get a little bit more distorted over time. And then after 15, 20 years, 7 years, whatever it is of marriage, the relationship can crumble, and that can be incredibly painful, not only emotionally, but also financially. So hey, those masculines out there that just want to move on fast, don't do that. Those masculines out there need to actually come back into themselves, slow things down, feel their feelings, because honestly, like my first love, I thought it was the biggest love of my life, but 17 years old, you don't know a lot. It's the beginning. That biggest love of my life, finally, when I was, actually I think it was 37, he told me after 20 years, he said, you know what? I actually was in love with you. I didn't really have the tools, know how to like deal with, being a high school boy, But I eventually learned the lesson. I got married to the hot woman, the woman that I moved on to after you. And guess what? We now have a daughter who's, we're divorced and we have a daughter and we have to co-parent. It's a pain in the butt. And I realized it was such a lesson for me that in my mind I'd said, oh, he moved on. He didn't have to deal with all the pain, all the wounding. But instead, it put me on a path of healing myself. I became a healer. I pursued my path as a priestess healer. I do the work that I do now because in those early stages, I was so wounded in my pain and I kept on attracting those wounds because oftentimes if your first love is a very painful situation, that will re-imprint until you learn how to heal that. And I had to work with deep healing medicine with mentors and studying this work until I was able to up-level and attract my twin flame Jack. But for many, many years, my imprint, my blueprint in my psyche was men move on really fast. The masculine ghosts, they don't care. I'm going to carry all the pain and all the sadness in me. I'm not good enough. I'm foolish. I'm too needy, blah, blah, blah. I'm too much for a man. It's never going to happen for me. And that absolutely harmed and slowed down my ability to attract deep love that I have now. But I eventually cracked the code. I did the deep healing work, and a big part of it was actually focusing on myself and not putting all the energy out into a disempowering way of looking at like, how do I get him? How do I get him back? I want him. Why doesn't he want me? And instead it was like, I want myself, I choose me, and I'm going to do the work inside. Another thing that is so empowering is I stepped into my business, I call it Blissness, following my bliss. I studied to become a healer. I put my time, my energy, and money into becoming the woman that I wanted to be. I then launched my business and I started to monetize my soul purpose gifts. I ended up growing my Blissness to 6 figures. It's the work that I love doing. And then eventually I met my twin flame Jack, and now we have an incredibly thriving business together. But I am absolutely positive I wouldn't be where I'm at today unless I'd given myself the gift of pursuing my passion and growing my blissness. So if you're a woman who is committed to launching her soul purpose blissness or up-leveling it to the next level, if you love abundance and luxury and you want to step beyond 6 figures, even to 7-figure income your way, then I have an awesome complimentary masterclass I'm offering right now. Spots are limited, so click the link below and you'll register for 6 steps to enrolling high-paying clients the feminine way. This is for you if you want the easiest and fastest path to growing your blissness, and there's space for you to do it not only with solid tools and support, it's also with a lot of feminine pleasure and passion and going your own way and your own pace. So it's a complimentary 75-minute masterclass. I'm going to unpack a ton for you so that you can have that foundation for your next leap in your blissness as an act of self-love and empowerment. And honestly, if you are waiting to get so over somebody and you're still like thinking about them all the time, it's a lot healthier to not check your Facebook and try and cyber stalk him, but to actually cyber stalk yourself and give yourself time to really grow your passions and turn it into a multiple 6-figure empire. Why not? All right, I will see you in the next video. Click the link below to register. Namaste, namaste.